And we are back. Let me know when you can see us. Give us a shout out there in the viewership. Let us know when you can hear us when we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. In the meantime, um I'm gonna keep I'm gonna go till I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody just yet. Um See if they can. There's Tyrone. How are you, sir?
Hello. Good. How about yourself?
Oh, great, great. Jim says she can see us. Okay, great, great, great. So, snow going on down there. That car crash was out of this world. And how many? I know it was like 6 people that ended up
Like,
deceased.
yeah, like six people lost their lives due to it. 133 cars in a pileup. It was crazy. So that's why I tell people. I mean, the snow is coming down here now. I don't think I've ever seen it look the way it looks now. If you don't have to be on those roads, I would say don't get out there.
Wow, wow. It was. I've never seen anything like it. There's an
Yeah.
issue, I guess, that the municipality is saying that they had cleaned it up and treated it, and then people are saying it was not treated at all. So, what more has developed on that? That was the last thing I actually saw where there was going to be an investigation as to whether or not there was a section of the highway that, in fact, had not been treated. That was the big, big question mark.
And I haven't really looked into it because it was just a lot to take in right now. But I could see there being a big investigation. Even like out here where we live, there's sections of the road that was treated and there's sections of the road that wasn't treated for some odd reason. Like you could literally be on a road that was treated prior to snow getting bad, and then you cross a light and your car is sliding, and then you get to the next light and the road is treated. So I don't know if there's like if there was like certain parts of the highway or certain parts of the road are in different cities, and the way Texas is all broken up in cities and towns and counties, and everybody has a budget for something.
Yeah.
um that could have played a part in it, but I've seen in several places where you will have parts of roads being treated and other parts not. So I'm
Mm.
sure there'll be, and especially with such a huge
Oh my
accident, like
God.
that was major.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be severely investigated.
So let me understand that, because I do know when we came to visit you guys are in a brand new subdivision.
Yes.
But it's like each of those different sections and counties maintain their own. So you can be 1 minute in a county and the street is good, and then cross over unknowingly for people that don't live in Texas, especially cross be on the same street but in another county and that be untreated. Am I understanding? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Correct. So like where we live, like my zip code is Prosper, but I actually live in Salina. So that's a totally different, group of government and people who they have their laws, their budgets and everything that handle things. It was really crazy. What really made it stand out to me about the way things are broken down here in Texas, when Tim and I went to vote, um, because it was so close to the election and the pandemic had happened, I didn't switch over my ID. So I still had the ID to our old address, which is still in Prosper.
Uh-huh.
But we technically now we live in Salina. So once we both voted, we went to the same place, we both voted, and we got in the car and I was talking about um some of the things that was on my ballot. And Tim was like, well, that's not on my ballot. And I was like, huh? You didn't
Mm.
see X, Y, and Z? And then it dawned on us that we're just literally streets from where we used to live, and they're two totally different cities that have two totally different governments, two totally different budgets, and what was on our ballots were totally different.
Insane. That's
Yeah,
insane. That's insane. Especially when it would have an impact on something like this, where my piece of street might be clean and your piece of street is dangerous as all get out. That's just
correct.
insane. That's insane. Well, Texas, everything's bigger in Texas. What's going on down in Arkansas?
Girl, I told y'all yesterday this weather is for the birds. I told y'all to keep it.
See,
We woke up this morning and it's been coming down. It's been coming down ever since. So yes, the streets are covered. Everything's just covered, and this is supposed to be the best part of it. It's supposed to get worse.
oh my God.
The temperature is supposed to be, I think they said 8, a wind chill -10. by tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yes, we're not used to that.
Yeah.
They said the cupboards are all bare at the stores. People have gone out and shopped, so if you need anything, it's going to be hard trying to get it. It's just
Wow.
something we're not used to. But the thing is, they've been saying this is coming for, I know, at least the last week and a half or so.
Yeah.
That but last time when they say that, we always think, yeah, and we might get a dusting or we may not get anything at all. But
Mm,
they actually hit it on the head this time.
mm, mm.
Kendall's got to go dialysis. One of the local transportations have already canceled everything for tomorrow.
Mm.
The one that's
Oh
supposed to
wow.
pick him up, we have not heard yet. But yeah, we're not used to it, so everything closes down. In Kansas City, y'all probably keep running because you're used to it. But in Fort Smith, everything shuts down.
Wow. Wow.
And that's basically what's happening. Everything is shutting down.
That's a real challenge.
Dang, too bad I can't call in to work
Because you work
Right.
because I work from home.
I don't think the employers are feeling too sad about that. Oh my God. What's going on out there in Blue Springs?
Say, I hear it's cold. I haven't been out there, and I don't plan on going. You'll have to tell me what the weather is doing. If it's snowing or not, I won't even look out. I'm so over it. So over it. It has been freezing. I think the wind chill right now is like -20 or
Yeah,
something.
it's bad.
Yeah. So I'm toasting inside. That's what's going on in Blue Springs.
Oh my God. Jim said snowing again, 0 degrees, and it feels like my 18. Listen, I went out quickly to get some ice melt for my driveway because I do have some business I have to attend to tomorrow. So I got to be able to get out of here. And going towards I got the minus on that, James. Thank you. Going towards your direction, man, it was almost white out. I mean, it was really that bad. It was crazy. So, it's coming down without a doubt. I'm telling you. But I feel this way, and you guys can tell me what you think. I feel like we've had so many mild winters, which I feel like has really been to our detriment because my concept has always been you get that really, really hard freeze and that hard cold air, and it kills the germs and all kind of stuff that in these light, mild winters that we've had in the past, it's just like it's not killing the stuff out. And so every time we come back into the next year, it's just worse and worse and worse and worse. And so I don't know. I'm kind of excited about the really, really minus 0+ degrees weather because I just feel like it's gonna kill a bunch of stuff that's been floating around for a long time that needed to be dead.
I don't know what you call a mild winter because every time I come there, your winter is horrible. I've been stuck in traffic for 8 hours out there. That's why I made sure when we came this time, we had to have an SUV. I wanted chains on the tire because I would never go through that again. And when I stepped out the door last weekend, oh my God, I thought we had bad weather in Virginia. That cold, I have never felt before.
It wasn't that bad last weekend.
It really wasn't.
Well,
Wow.
my body is not used to that.
You've been Texas-fied.
I guess so.
You've been Texas-fied. Because listen, we have been having mild winters, and this stuff just die. And when you come back, it's like the winter is like spring or late fall or whatever. Then by the time you get into the next year, it's just like all of them viruses and bugs. They like baby's kids. They don't die, they multiply.
That's true. I think the last good blizzard-like weather we had was 2011. I only know that because I had a baby smack dab in the middle of it. I had to drive from Blue Springs to Shawnee Mission like that.
Oh my God.
That's 10 years ago.
I'm telling you.
Pretty chill since then.
Yeah. It's been calm. Normally we always get in the below 0 degrees. When I was growing up, that was just a given. You were going to get somewhere in there. And believe you me, I went to Bonner Springs. We still went to school. You just put on enough layers of clothes and we had to walk. It was like a quarter of a mile to get to our house. It was a dead end street and you had to walk up those hills, down the hills.
I was going to say it was hills on that street.
Oh man. And if you can imagine that on snow and ice in sub-zero weather, but we went to school. Now the issue was we didn't go outside and play in recess because they were scared of us getting frostbite. But baby, you were going to school.
Well,
That
we're
was
not used
that
to
was the funny
that.
thing here. We just got snow today, but they closed school here. I think Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
They were just. I mean, and I was like, why they closing school? Like, there's nothing on, no snow on the ground. It's a little cold, just a
Yeah.
little cold.
Yeah.
But they closed it down quick here. They was like, no, we're not sending y'all to school. Y'all stay home.
Uh-uh. Well, okay then. Okay then. Honey Bonner didn't close for nothing. I'm trying to tell you, you was gonna skate in there in service day or something. It was not
Wow.
shutting down. And Mel knows I'm telling the truth. Mel went to Bonner. She knows I am not lying. We went to school, baby. Everybody else be school closed, school closed, school closed. Bonner. So that's the way we roll. I'm gonna start. This is and I want to welcome everybody back this week again. I'm so glad for the faithful few that have tuned in today. Thank you so much. And I know people are trying to get acclimated to my schedule coming back. So I understand that. But thank you all that have come. I'm going to start. This is Valentine's Day, and I want to go a little bit of a different route. But before I go all the way in, I was dismayed, and I'm going to throw this out here on the day of love and the day that we talk about love. I was dismayed because there's an article running that the LA Police Department has several of their staff who were caught passing around a Valentine of George Floyd with the caption of you make me lose my breath.
And have they been fired?
It wasn't that deep yet. They had just been caught with the passing around of the card. And the caption, obviously, which is totally inappropriate. You make me lose my breath. You take my breath away. That's what it was. You take my breath away.
Well, they should work for my company. A few years ago, I had an employee. I don't know what she was thinking. Well, maybe more than a few years ago, because Trump had just been voted into office. And she came into the office with Valentine's Day cards about Trump. And she put it on certain people's desks, and it said, because you're white, you're right. But they were like Valentine's Day cards. People thought she was just giving people Valentine's Day cards. Our HR said we walked her out there before she could get comfortable in her seat. She was done.
So you feel like these police officers should be terminated?
Of course.
Rhonda,
I mean, you can't defend me. You can't defend me without bias. Fooling around with stuff like that.
but don't we know that bias is there?
We do.
It's there,
But they should be gone.
Very inappropriate.
Yeah.
There's been people who've been fired for way less.
Way
Less. So I'm not understanding why this even made the news. They should have been gone that day.
Well, I don't know that they are or aren't. That wasn't that wasn't at the time of the article's release, and so it was just a matter of bringing it to light that these officers had been. And yes, BTD, Mom, I saw you. I had to reach over and grab my shade because it's all kind of shade for that. I just cannot understand. Yes, I can. Don't let me say that. The people that feel emboldened to do this stuff because that's the atmosphere that we're in. I would almost marry that to the fact that Trump was acquitted. Mm-hmm. And I think when you see that kind of, when you see that kind of behavior, it says to you, I can do whatever I want to do and nothing's going to happen. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree, but another thing that bothers me with the article coming out, and just us conversing about it and not knowing what the resolution of it is the fact that something like this happened, and in order for the reporters or for all them to get it, and then they formulate this report on it, like some time has gone by. I mean, it didn't just happen today, so some time has gone by, and it's not something that was already just taken care of. You came into your work environment. You did something that should be against your company's policy, and you should be done about it. I mean, because stuff like this happens, I would say, almost pretty often in regular everyday work. So the fact that we're reading this article now about something that happened, and we don't know that these cops haven't already been fired, that's a problem. because it's not like we're having this conversation amongst us and there's one of our friends that, oh, let me tell you, so and so went to work and did, and we're conversing about it. There was a whole article put out.
Well, but Tyrone, we've got officers that have killed whole people. And they're not hired. they get reassigned. They might get put on some kind of on leave until leave with pay, leave without pay, and then next thing you know, I'm talking about just cold-blooded murderers. And then next thing you know, they've been reassigned someplace else, and nothing ever happened to them.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the crazy part about it. You know, this has happened, and there shouldn't be a tolerance for it. You know, you did this. You're done.
And some people feel like it's just a Valentine's card. It's just a joke.
And that's a problem.
Your face is looking all kinds of ways. What are you thinking, ma'am?
Who?
You, Rhonda.
Me?
I said Rhonda. Yeah, your face is looking all kinds of ways.
Rhonda, you got some light?
Y'all probably see smoke.
Oh, that's why we don't see your light?
Right.
Okay.
Am I dark?
You're just lightly.
No, you're okay to me. You're okay to me. You made me spit my water out.
Girl, look, I'm like Jonna on this one. I'm so over that. I'm so sick of that. And for them to think that it's actually funny and they continue to pass it around.
Yeah.
That's right there is what pisses me off, because you know somebody should have stopped it right then.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They could pass it around to each other. Somebody actually thought that was funny.
Yeah.
In the time that we're living in and everything that we're going through, somebody thought that was funny, and that they continue to do this type of stuff.
Yeah.
That pisses me off, and I'm mad. Come on, Mel, let's go.
No.
Yeah. I'm tired of it.
It's God for me.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
I agree wholeheartedly. And so, you know, but it just continues to happen. It's just at some point it's almost like, and again, my sentiment with the acquittal and this whole scene, because I mean that's bold. That to me, that's bold. You're on the police department and you're obviously passing this card around boldly. How do you have the nerve to do that, except for the feeling and the sense nothing's gonna happen to me anyway?
But just like you said, if you can kill a whole person repeatedly, it's not like it's happened once.
Yeah.
And nothing ever happens, then who gives a crap about a Valentine's Day card?
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, slap on the hand, slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
But they got the joke.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And it is so callous that my brain, just when I read the article, just trying to wrap my brain around, these are grown individuals, obviously, that are on the police department, LAPD, that find this as BTD mom, how is this a joke? That find it okay. And again, a sense I have to believe they don't feel like anything's going to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
They do not.
Because it's probably not.
Right. They don't believe fat meat's greasy.
Oh, Tyrone.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Oh, Lord.
Fat meat's greasy. What is that?
You never heard that saying before?
Fat meat's greasy?
Help a brother out. Help a brother.
I can't.
What does that mean?
That's another show, Tyrone. That's another show.
Okay.
I can't today.
Oh, Jesus. These are young babies. Since people have been encouraged to act this for years, nothing will be done. I agree with you, James JJ. There's something in them that absolutely positively does not believe that anything's going to happen to them. And that's why they have found no problem, no drawback with the idea of circulating this around. I just wanted to bring that to our attention because our struggle and our fight for equal rights, civil rights is still there, even in Valentine's Day. I was like, Who would have thought that on Valentine's Day somebody would find something so degrading and low to come up with for Valentine's Day, a day that's supposed to be really designated to really sharing and showing love one to another. So for those of you that didn't hear about that, I'm sure you'll be hearing more. And yes, Jams JJ, it may only get worse because this is going to be really the pull and the power between you know white supremacy and those that are not for white supremacy. So we're
And
gonna
I hope there's none of us on the police force that laughed along with that to give people the feeling that it's okay. I hope there's us on the police force that are standing up and really defending and our people.
yes,
I hope we're not out there laughing with them.
I agree. I hope not.
We can pray.
But we got
We
some
can
folks that
pray.
are really confused,
Oh, glory
including
to
black
his
folk.
name. Oh,
So
Jesus.
it's some people that are really confused.
Jesus on the main line.
Tell them what you want. So
Now I know that one.
we got okay, Tyrone. We got one.
I know that one.
Oh, praise Jesus. Okay, it is Valentine's Day. So you have everybody out there in viewer land, you have the experts of love sitting before you. All of them. I'm the only one on here that's single and available. Everybody else is spoken for. So at the end of the day, we're going to get all of this wisdom and all of this knowledge because y'all know y'all want to know about love and how to have it and how to keep it. So we're going to deal with some things on today. Why y'all laughing?
Could we get the questions before we went live?
Right. I need to do some research.
Hey, y'all got to see my finger.
Okay, here we go with question number 1. In your opinion, if you really, really love that person, learn how to wait because maybe you are not meant to be together for today, but you are meant to be together in the future. What do you all have to? And this isn't about any of you all personally. I'm just throwing out. I want your wisdom. I want your knowledge. I'm going to go back and read it again. If you really, really love that person, learn how to wait because maybe you are not meant to be together for today, but maybe you are really meant to be together in the future. And what do you say to that?
I disagree.
Okay, elaborate.
If I love you, then it's meant to be now.
It's a right now love.
It's a right now.
It's a right now God with a right now love.
Right now.
Ain't no waiting.
For what? What am I waiting for? For you to
Is the timing right? Do you think that just because you're in love that automatically means my time and our time is now? Or is our time maybe later on?
Our time is now. And we're going to figure it out.
Okay.
Because together we can do anything.
Okay. You said that. I saw the finger. I saw the finger point. I saw the power and the anointing in it. Yes. Jams JJ says she can wait. Come on. I got my other 2 panelists on here. Is it now or is it wait?
I'm going to have to say there can be some waiting involved, yes.
Okay.
What are you waiting for?
Well, if by this logic, I would have got left. So I have to say there can be some waiting involved.
Okay. I'm with you on
Not too long now. You ain't got to wait forever.
Okay.
But there can be a little bit of waiting involved. Absolutely.
BTD mom said they may not be mature enough to cope.
Okay.
But then we grow together.
No,
not always.
no.
Okay. So Rhonda, what are you saying?
There's nothing wrong with waiting because sometimes if you're not ready, if you're not mature, to step into that role. Now, I'm not saying the other person quit living, but it's just at that time you two are not ready. So yeah, I can wait.
Yeah. A BTD mom said, if you ain't got no money, you definitely wait.
See,
it's about the love. It's about the love.
So you want to be poor together instead of waiting. Just be poor.
But that struggle brings us closer.
But you
then
might
we can look back and say, you remember when we only had one pack of ramen noodles together? And now look at us. Couple goals.
But maybe, because this is a thing, when you are together, it's more expensive to take care of two than it is one.
Correct.
So maybe if both pull one-on-one and then both get over the hump, then they can come together and enjoy one another better after they have the means by which to not be in such, because that struggle together is going to be twice as hard because it's two of y'all instead of one.
But do you run the risk of when you go one-on-one that one gets swooped up by somebody else?
Well, is it love? There we go, y'all.
If you do, then it wasn't love.
Who says?
Get swooped up by somebody else.
Yeah.
Y'all used to that 50s love. This is 2021.
Oh,
Get scooped up by some. Wait a minute. Now maybe therein lies and James JJ stressful too, because stress will break up a relationship.
It will.
So, I mean, just plain sheer. Now, Maynard, that used to be look before you leap, LEAP, but you done made it look before you leave. That's like, I'm gonna leave your tail regardless. I'm gonna look at you and then I'm gonna step right on out of maturity. Is not automatic. Both persons have to want to grow.
Correct.
We're talking about love and we're talking about relationship, because everybody talks about love, but then very few people actually are able to accomplish it successfully and in a healthy way, because there's a lot of people in unhealthy relation. I got you. Auto type. I got you, man. I got you. But look before you leave. That might have been prophetic.
Well, you know, I kind of like it. I'm gonna write that down and use it.
Love does not pay your bills, and this economy, one person trying to carry the other will cause a complete and total stress. So, Tyrone, know what you have to say?
But does my love have to be based on my financials?
No, but we got to eat and have somewhere to sleep.
But if we love each other and we gonna make this happen.
But you both have to be mature enough to want to work.
Correct, and you have to want it.
Okay.
Correct.
So if they're not mature enough to work with you on that, then you need to wait.
But who is one to say I'm not mature enough?
Do you not know if you can handle one bag of Roman noodles? You said there's one bag and y'all can work together and say we make it. But what if you can't say, no, I don't want one bag. I want it all.
Then that's not being mature enough. I can see that.
We're saying, yeah.
But there are people like that, Tyrone.
Yeah.
There are selfish people in the world trying to be in a relationship.
All right, but don't count a person out because on paper they don't have what you think they have. Should have.
That's not what we're saying.
That's not what we're saying.
Because they may not have the financials, but their heart could be big as the ocean.
Then we need to wait till your heart and your finances come into better recognition.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to challenge the idea of somebody else coming in and swooping you up, because you ain't swoopable if you in love. Can't nobody swoop you up. Now,
but when you say we're gonna wait, is this something where two people come to a mutual agreement that we love each other? One day we'll be together once we grow to this place, and then we're going to be together? Or these two people who are in love and we're saying, live your life, and hopefully someday we're brought back together?
No, I mean, we're talking about while we are waiting, because we're talking about people in love. I'm not talking about just people just casually dating or something. And we're talking about two people that love each other. is there a possibility that as this is posed out here, that there may be, when you really, really love that person, but you recognize that there's a need to wait. Maybe you're not meant to be together for today, but you're really, really meant to be together in the future. I think that we're talking about being, and still wait being the operative word. We're not talking about going different paths, but we're waiting together and we're still loving each other together. But at the same time, we know it's not time for us to come together and really try to move forward until we're in a different place in a different time. And I do think maturity has a lot to do with it. And listen, maturity has nothing to do with age, because there are a lot of immature old people. And I think our young people need to understand that. They think just because this person is whatever age you want to put out there, and just because you turn 18 does not automatically make you an adult, even though you are legal in the government's eyes in many states, or 21. It still does not mean that you are a 21 or 18-year-old mature person. You're just legally able to operate in your state. But that still doesn't mean that you got tools to work with. There's some 50 and 60-year-old folk that do not have tools.
Correct.
What are you thinking, Jonna?
I agree wholeheartedly. And that's why the waiting is so important, especially if you're young. But it's important either way.
Supervisor, you let that through? This supervisor let that through. Now, if I would have said that, I would have been taken out. I see how this works.
Oh, Mel, you my girl. I mean, you never leave us high and dry. You always give us something. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a series of statements that somebody made about knowing when a person really loves you, and y'all give me some feedback.
Okay.
When a person really loves you, they will support you always.
Correct.
Yes, no.
Yes.
Uh-oh, my ladies are thinking. I got ladies in waiting.
Oh, I'm confused.
I'm trying to.
Well, Tyrone, let me say, females and males tend to have different perspectives on the thing. So
I can understand that. I appreciate that.
I appreciate your perspective, but I see the sisters a little bit.
I'm going to always support my spouse.
Okay.
But once we're at home, we will discuss it, because there might be some things that we don't agree with, but I won't show that in public.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. I will support you publicly.
Yeah.
But now we might have to go to the side and be like, what?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tyrone, would you do that? Would you speak with your spouse and make full support in public, and then have a conversation later on? Because I have to think somewhere along your relationship, you're not going to necessarily agree to a level that, yes, I'm going to support you, but we still need to have more dialogue on this as to.
Oh yeah, totally, and I totally agree with what everyone said. I mean, I'm going to support you in public 100%. But we're going to have a conversation if it's something I disagree with, to make sure that we come to a common ground. Now, there will never be a situation where I totally do not support you in private.
Okay.
But we'll have a conversation where we can come to a common ground to make sure that we're on the same page of how things should go.
Okay. That's number one. So then also they accept you just the way you are. Yes, no. Just the way you are.
I'm a big believer in growth. And I feel people have to grow together. So I don't think you grow when you totally say, I'm going to accept a person for who they are. I feel there's opportunities that we all probably fall short in. And it's the duty of our spouse to call us out on that. So they may not accept us for who we are. Totally. Now they shouldn't just totally not accept you for who you are. But I feel it's a good practice of a spouse to be able to call you out on situations where they feel you can improve in.
Okay. Now I'm a side. I'm gonna put it on the table on the side because I really kind of want to have a conversation on the. It's your responsibility to call your your mate out. I kind of have a little question on that, but I'm gonna table that for the time being. SK say yes, but we help each other to grow because I don't know if that's my responsibility to call my mate out. I don't know. I don't know about that one, but that's Regina. That's not. I'm not speaking for anybody.
And again, I don't want to use. Maybe I used the wrong word. Responsibility. I feel it's a good practice for your spouse if they see that you're falling short in an area, to be able to say, hey, this is happening. It's probably not the best look. Let's work on X, Y, and Z.
So we're talking about nurturing love, and that's our
nurturing love. I'll put it that.
So yeah, and then, but what about the person that's always calling you out? Because there are relationships like that,
and there are, and that's a conversation to be had.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It should never be a one-sided thing where I'm always being called out.
Okay.
You should have a.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you should be able to have a conversation with your spouse where it's it's a mutual feel. You can call me out on something, and I'm free to call you out on something. Whether you agree with it or not, this is what I'm seeing. But it's not a duty. I think it's a mutual love and a good practice.
And I also want to interject with that, not in a tit for tat mindset either, because there's some people that are petty. And if I may be calling you out on something legitimate, but then you look for something and make up something pretty near just to have the opportunity to come back with your tat to my tit. And you want
if you know who you're dealing with, there are no surprises.
Okay.
And so that's part of growing, and as we talked about before, is waiting and knowing and maturing. Because once you know somebody, and you know them, there's no surprises.
Okay. Okay. Jonna?
I think there's a core system of a person that you're going to have to accept, but that system needs to be fluid. It needs to be able to move accordingly. And that comes with knowing who you are dealing with, and not just them as a person, especially during the dating phase, because that's not them. That's their presentation. So you need to, hang out with the family, look around and observe and let a little time pass. There's that waiting again. So you can see how this person really acts. So you know who you're dealing with, and you can accept that with knowing that they have some room to grow or room to move. Then yes. So my answer is you do need to be able to accept them for who they are, but that needs to be fluid.
Okay. Okay. The next thing that this person said, you need to be their top priority most of the time, if not all. You need to be their top priority most of the time, if not all.
I'm gonna let the ladies take this one. Because I saw both of their faces turn, so I'm gonna let.
You need to be their top priority most of the time, if not all. We're talking about when somebody really loves you. This is this person's perspective.
I'm still confused on what we're asking, but if that's my spouse, then yes, we're going to be each other's top priority.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Nell said, "I'm special." I know you're right. Okay. Okay. I must have gotten some water I didn't know I was getting into, but okay.
Right.
Did you want to add to that position, Tyrone, from the male perspective?
I will say for me, I would want to always be top priority, but I'm a person that I understand life happens. And it really just depends on the situation. If my spouse is going through something, his family is top priority. I can step back and be like, do what you got to do. But when Tyrone needs to be top priority, Tyrone makes sure it happens.
Go ahead, Tyrone. Go
Go
ahead.
on, go on in.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go on in.
Yeah, I agree with James, JJ. It really does depend on the situation.
Yeah.
Things
Uh-huh.
happen where you're just not going to be. I mean, if you have a family, especially young kids, you're not always going to be at the top of that list. But you need to know that should I be in a situation that I can shoot past everything right to the top of that list immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Okay.
None.
And that's interesting that you bring in the position as a parent, because a lot of times you do end up becoming behind the children, so to speak. But we're on love and really building a good, healthy relationship. That still needs to be balanced as well, because even though we got kids, I still have needs and I need to. So
Absolutely.
that needs to be clear as well. I also, when I asked that question, it made me think of, what about the person that's in a relationship with somebody who's emotionally insecure and has a tremendous amount of jealousy, and they always want to demand. I'm not being a priority here. And that's real talk. That's real talk.
That's a tough one to be in.
Yeah, I say get out.
Yeah, that's a tough relationship to be in.
It's time for some other help there. It's time
Divorce?
Yeah.
It's time for divorce court.
And,
Okay.
and now this is when they need to wait.
But what if they're a really good person and they just have really strong insecurities? And I'm gonna tell you what, because people will tell you quick, fast, and hurry. I came with some baggage and I got cheated on before, and and they can't get over it, and they're just inundated with, you gonna cheat on me because everybody else is cheating on me. And I got one person that physically and literally told me, I'm gonna cheat first because I know they're gonna cheat.
Wow. Wait.
If you're in the dating phase and someone says that to you, they need to wait.
I don't think you need to wait. I think you need to go ahead and cut your losses and get on out of there. Somebody needs therapy. Somebody needs to see.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
Boy, kick it out. Mel. Mel was my day.
You sure Mel went to Bonner?
Mel went to Bonner. As our cheer said, we're from Bonner. Couldn't be prouder. If you get here, we'll yell a little louder. Yeah, we're from Bonner. We're from Bonner all day long. So
yeah.
yes.
That type of person's not ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't bring baggage in from one to the other.
Okay. That's a good point. While we're trying to uncover all of these truths, I think while we're talking and trying to help people sustain their relationships and have full loving relationships, bringing baggage is a big issue, and trying to hold that baggage against the person that you're with currently, I think that needs to be addressed.
But that's also going into, I mean, when we talk about bringing baggage, as people in general, we're going to bring some type of baggage, whether it's from a prior relationship, from the way we were raised, our experiences in life. There's going to be some baggage that's going to come, and that's just who we are as humans. We carry baggage regardless of what anybody tells you. We all carry some type of baggage, and that dictates how we maneuver through life, just from life experiences. But it's important to realize what baggage you as the other person is willing to take on.
And I think some of us as individuals need to identify if we are enablers or rescuers.
Correct.
Almost like
that's a big one.
We attract or look for people that need to be rescued, and then we find ourselves in a whole relationship experience of constantly having to rescue this person, and it never stops.
It becomes a cycle.
But it also can be what you are drawn to, because sometimes we will subconsciously do some stuff and set ourselves up and put ourselves in some situations, and then be like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I walked right into what I created, and I keep walking into it over and over and over again.
And that's your own baggage.
Right.
Two together.
Yeah.
If you don't deal with your baggage, you will continually attract the same thing over and over again if you don't deal with it.
It will deal with you, as my dear friend said. But is a rescue relationship really a love relationship? Main man is asking. Is a rescue and it's a whole lot of them, y'all. Now come on now.
And it comes in different forms.
It does.
Mhm.
It can even
Mhm.
be, I'm gonna marry you because you pregnant, or I'm gonna do right by you because of this, or I mean, it's a whole lot of ways people
A
rescue.
whole lot.
I married you because of the church.
That too, because the church said, I know a church, they do matchmaking. I ain't lying. That ain't no made up nothing. I'm telling you, they
Mm.
take over there.
We
The
have people
pastor says you and him.
marrying people because they didn't have a mother or father, and you looking for a mother and father in your mate.
Come on here.
That's an issue.
Come on.
That is a big one.
Come on. So is a rescue relationship really a love relationship? Is the question that Main Man is asking. Is that really love, or is it dysfunction?
I feel it's a little bit of both. It's love because I feel you have love for the person, and you can be in love with that person. But some people, especially in like rescue relationships, some people need to be needed,
Mm-hmm.
and they're attracted to people who they feel they can help.
Mm-hmm.
So it's love, and it can be a love relationship, but it is dysfunctional love, as
Yeah.
Jam JJ said.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there are different types of love. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely what we're espousing tonight, and hopefully even in this conversation, helping people to come into an awareness to have healthy love, because it is out there. I think some of our youngsters have given up hope.
Mm.
What can I say on Valentine's Day? No one take anything from this conversation and break up with your spouse. Your relationship is your relationship, and what works for you works for you. Okay?
We got the finger pointing tonight.
I would say, is that a disclosure, a disclaimer, or what?
He's got full of disclaimers.
Right, he's full of disclaimers tonight.
Okay, now here goes the other, and I'm still on the same person. The person that really loves me needs to express their feelings and trust for me. Do you feel like that person needs to express to you their feelings of trust and their expression of how they're feeling? If somebody's not talking to you and not sharing their feelings, is that problematic?
See,
I
I
would say
think it,
yeah.
they should have known that from the beginning.
I think it can be for some. Not some people are not verbal,
Okay.
Correct.
and so that would be an issue there, and some people need to hear it. So that like Rhonda said, is one of those things where you need to watch it. If you're going to need it and that person is not able, it's not sometimes not a matter of I'm not going to, I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to learn how to speak their language
Okay.
and
Okay.
be cool with that. So
But you have to learn to speak that language, but that's another baggage. Because there are people, and I will fall into that category, that is not the best of expressing their love because of, I would say, my childhood growing up. It wasn't something that was expressed to me that much. I knew my mother loved me. I know she loves me, but it wasn't this thing of, oh, let me give you a hug and kiss you on the head and this, that, and the other. And that's going on into me being as an adult. Some people can be like, oh, Tyrone, you're cold, but inside I'm like, but I have so much love for you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a part of baggage. So in that's something that a partner would need to express.
Mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't just accept it. If you're looking for a certain type of expression and love from someone, then going back to a partner being able to um, call out some things you need to work on,
Mm-hmm.
that would be one of them. I'm saying, I need to feel this certain kind of way. I'm used to these type of expressions, and that's how you grow together. Now, in the trust part, I feel that should be something that shouldn't always be spoken. It should be just it's in your actions.
Rhonda, what's your face saying? Rhonda.
Here we go. Rhonda, we talking about modern day love.
Tyrone, shut up. I'm gonna probably say this all evening. If you know who you're dealing with, there are no surprises. So you've got to get to know one another. Everybody may not be able to say, I love you, I love you, I love you. But somewhere down the line, you ought to be able to show how much I love you. or show some type of emotion, but you know each other, and you know you need to hear it. You can look at them, and they can look you in the eyes, and you be like, "Oh, I know you." I mean, get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know them, then there's no surprises. Everybody's different. Nobody's going to be the same. Some people can express it, some people cannot. But you need to know if that's the type of person you're with at the beginning. Don't get off into a 15-year marriage and then you like, but you never tell me you love me. What? Well, dang. That should have been
I didn't tell you in 15 years.
Help him, Lord.
Help it. I got you,
But-
Jonna. Are you cool?
I'm good. Same. You have to speak their language and be able to accept it. Not everybody is wordy.
Okay.
So, if you don't say, I love you so much today, blah, 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 but there's gas in my car and the driveway is shoveled and, then you need to be able to accept that eventually.
Okay. Now, this individual also says they must be able to apologize when needed. Do y'all think that's a biggie?
Oh, yeah. I can't even think of the last time I got an apology.
Oh,
No, I'm just joking.
whoa.
I'm just joking.
Is that a biggie? Is that a deal breaker, y'all?
If you're wrong, yeah, that's a biggie.
Okay.
Yeah, that one is a biggie. You do need to be able to admit when you are wrong,
Mm-hmm.
just like everybody else has to. You know what I'm saying?
Love doesn't cover
You-
that multitude of fault and sin.
No.
No.
And I don't know what that is in the Bible.
Oh, that's a scripture. I didn't make it up.
Oh.
Hey, no,
Now,
look,
it doesn't
no.
say that you have to let somebody not apologize. I'm being flippant in that. I'm being flip. But Rhonda, what are you saying? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying the same thing. No, you got to be able to apologize. If you're wrong, apologize. And there's not the best thing is make up sex.
That's a good word.
To all our minors,
Ain't no minors on here. Preach,
anybody
Rhonda.
under
Tell
the
me.
age of
We grown.
under the age of 18.
I think you got muted.
No, if I got muted, we got a serious issue. I'm coming back to Kansas in the snow if I got muted.
You got muted, babe. You got muted. Just
Now
let-
what now?
I'm
Wait
coming
a
back.
minute.
If I was muted, I was coming back to Kansas in the snow.
First of all, you were not muted, sir. That
I'm
was
gonna
you
sit,
and
I'm
your
gonna sit next
system.
to you,
That
and I'm
was
gonna
you
sit
and your.
next to you and let you
Baby.
know.
There is room at the cross. There is room at the cross.
Oh, shoot. Yes. Makeup is powerful, BTD mom. Main man, some people are just never apologize. And so that is true. There are some people that absolutely positively will not apologize. And that's true. So say you find that this is your perfect in every other way. This is your perfect compliment to your world and your love, but they just cannot and will not apologize. Is that still a deal breaker?
I wouldn't say a deal breaker because I know in my heart they're wrong,
Right,
and
I'll
I'm
tell you,
good. And I'm good.
I'll tell you right out, you were wrong. I
You
know
were
you're
wrong.
wrong. You know you're wrong. Go somewhere and sit down, and then try to, get myself together.
So then what happens when you're carrying that anger and animosity in your bosom?
Yeah, it bubbles up.
I know it bubbles up. You get you get chocolate milk out of your bosom.
And that's when you need to do yoga.
Yoga ain't gonna help some things in your
Oh,
bosom.
yeah.
Some things in your bosom. Listen.
Do
Only-
y'all know the song
Get it out.
"Telephone in My Bosom" by Mahalia Jackson?
Oh, I do.
Okay, so I'm
Mm-mm.
just making sure I wasn't lying. My mother always told me she remembers the song. She used to listen to the song "Telephone in My Bosom" by Mahalia Jackson, and people always look at me like I'm crazy. Okay, so I'm good.
I've got a Mahalia Jackson collection. I'll play it for you when you come.
Okay.
BTD mom said it's up to each person to know when to fold them. Y'all agree with that?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So now on Valentine's Day, as we're making this journey, I guess even when knowing when to fold them, where's the line between knowing when to fold them and losing yourself? I'm trying to help the people on Valentine's Day. What's the line between knowing when to fold them and when you're losing yourself? Help the people. What is the line between knowing when to fold them and when you're losing yourself?
I think if you're folding them to a point where you're losing yourself, there's a bigger conversation that needs to be had.
But how do you know? Because some people don't they just constantly fold. There's some people like that too. They don't like.
And again, in those type of people, there's a bigger conversation needs to be had.
Mhm.
Whether it's a self-esteem issue on your part, or some type of emotional need that you're needing, that you're staying with a person that constantly makes you feel like you're wrong and you have to fold them, because you never want to lose yourself in a relationship.
I feel like that will eventually change into anger or some other show up.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so I agree with Tyrone that something else is happening there. Something that doesn't have to do anything to do with the other person. You need to be able to speak your piece.
Okay.
And
James,
if you don't feel you're able to, that's a concern.
yeah.
That's a bigger concern.
Yeah. Not a deal breaker, just cause for wall-to-wall counseling. Okay. And counseling is always in order if needed. When the resentment continues to build and replicate, then you're losing yourself. I think that's what James is identifying when I said, when do you know the difference between folding and losing yourself? SK, if I wouldn't want to see my best friend in a certain situation, I recognize it's time to change things. That's good. Sometimes you have to
That
look
is a good
at
one.
yourself and say, if this was my friend, what would I vote? What would I say? What would I hold back? And that's a good one. When you begin losing yourself, talk it out, maybe counseling. But if that partner cannot comply, it's time to run. She didn't say walk away. She said run.
Right.
Knees to your chest to get out of there.
Okay. That's a good one. Good advice, y'all. I'm still on the same individual. I need them to keep in touch with me throughout the day. What do y'all feel about that day-to-day, all day long contact?
All day, yeah.
I got to all day. I got to know. Why all day, Tyrone? Maybe they can't.
Well, not all day, but often.
Okay.
I mean, so I can make sure you're still breathing. You're still alive.
Okay. You want those little sweet nothings all day long.
And it don't have to be sweet nothings. I mean, but if I send a message and I don't get a response in hours, I'm calling your job, your mom. I'm sending text messages. I'm on your messenger. Like, you good?
That's a thin line. Anybody who requires that, and it could be innocent, like it sounds like with Tyrone, but anybody who requires that, that's a red flag for me. If you got something to say, text me. If not, I'm busy. I got stuff to do. I can't be sitting up here sending hearts and stuff all day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just me.
And for me, it's not a requirement. But then there's a part of baggage for me of abandonment. So my thing is, I like to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
That was wonderful introspection, Tyrone. Good for you.
That was good.
So now it's different because we work from home. But like when we were in the office, I'm sending a text, I'm here. And a lot of people think like, oh, you're checking in. I'm not checking in. It's just that someone knows where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here in the office, or, what are you doing for lunch, or what's for lunch, and this, that, and the other. For me, it's a way of someone just knowing where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's someone that's expecting me to be somewhere. And it just me.
I want him to give me a chance to miss him, and he need to give me a chance to miss him. So when we get home that evening, hey, We're so glad to see each other.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I think that might be an age difference. You think?
I would agree with
I
that.
think in
It can
younger
be.
years, there's a lot of contact wanted and required. And then as you get older, it's like, no, your focal points become different things. And as you say, Rhonda, the absence makes the heart grow fonder, because then when we come back together, it's a beautiful reunion. And really the ability to talk face to face, quiet time, just share what happened in your day, what happened in your life. I mean, a lot of things that you can really cultivate and develop in a very real intimate way. When I say intimate, I'm not talking about sexual. I'm talking about intimate of really getting to know that other person and really know their feelings, their thoughts, and all of that, and kind of draw all of that in at a given time. So I like that. Jonna, did you say something?
Yes, I said if you got something to say it. If not, whatever.
Got you. You did. Okay. I'm still on this same individual. She had a lot of requirements. I need somebody that laughs with me and not at me. Do y'all think that's I think this relationship should go bye-bye.
Right.
Dang.
That's
And
me.
that's a relationship I require of my friends. If you
They
laugh
can
at me,
counsel
we're no longer friends.
That's correct. I agree, Tyrone. No, we're not
You
doing
know
no that. Mm-mm.
I do know some partners who laugh very cruelly at their partners. Not that.
That's
Mm-mm.
disrespectful.
That is disrespectful.
Okay, let me move on to another one, because she still got some more things on her list. I'm gonna let her go.
Yeah.
She's gonna be single for a while.
Don't lie. That's number one on the list. I see all the heads nodding yes. Okay. Next thing on the line, we need keep communication completely open and keep it sweet.
Well, keep it
I don't
Well,
think
communication might always be sweet.
sweet, but
right.
keep it open.
It can be open and sweet all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be one or the other.
Okay. When you get hurt, you just gotta forgive and forget.
No.
No,
Oh,
talk-
that brings baggage.
What are you saying, Rhonda? I'm looking at your face.
Say that again.
Okay. She said, when you get hurt, you just got to forgive and forget.
Eventually, but you got to talk that thing out. You
Okay.
just can't sweep it up under the rug. No.
Okay. John, I see you nodding your head. Yes, in agreement.
Yeah, if you're going to be in that relationship, you do need to be able to let it go, but not without a good old conversation.
Okay.
hmm
That's a good one. Never talk about your past breakups.
Please. Mm-mm.
We might be dealing with young.
Yeah, that's
Forget your pride. I don't know about that. Forget your pride. What does that mean?
get your pride. I don't know about that.
Is this person underage?
I don't
we
have
an
their
adult?
ages. I don't have their
Okay.
ages. I just have comments of what they think is required to have a loving relationship.
Forget your
Get your
pride.
pride.
That's losing yourself.
So what
And
would
one thing you should never do is lose yourself.
you tell that individual in response to the forget your pride?
I would say that let's talk about what's really going on. Tell me
Get
about your childhood.
Yeah, get an understanding. Because I don't know what you're saying.
Mhm. That's correct. I'm lost too. I'm like, what? Something you got to
Right.
do a little more talking on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Remain faithful.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We
Oh yeah.
good on that.
We're not having no open. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay. No flirting with others.
That's relative. Depends on what you would call flirting.
Because honey, we all see eye candy.
Uh,
Oh,
Well.
here we go.
Tyrone, you got a problem with eye candy?
Right.
You want to talk about somebody else might come in and swoop you up.
But no, somebody might. I mean, if y'all, it was explained a little different. But once it was explained to me, then no, it wouldn't be a thing of somebody swooping you up. So I take my statement back.
Okay. Okay. Now, I think these may be younger people that I'm looking at, but these are their thoughts, so I'm gonna respect them. Along with the don't flirt with others is a concept of if they don't want you talking to somebody, that you should not do so.
That again, that depends on who it is.
That would have to be an understanding of who that person is.
Yeah, if somebody was disrespectful to me and all that, then no, he doesn't need to. But it just all depends on the situation.
Okay. So if, and I'm going to presume, and I am being presumptuous here, that on these responses that these are younger people. So is that enough? I mean, is that enough to clarify for them? I mean, if I'm a young person and I'm putting my responses to this questionnaire out here, and I feel like they need to respect me by not flirting, number one, whatever they consider flirting to be, and number two, if I ask you not to speak with someone, don't speak to them. I got you, Mel. They're not your mother, they're not your father. I hear you all day long, because that's kind of stuff burn me up. But anyway, I'm trying to deal with the idea, if that young person, and I'm assuming it's a young person, if it's not a young person, it's an immature person that's giving these responses, in my opinion. But how can we really help them to really be able to understand a better depth to, maybe you don't need to stop not talking to this person or that person, because there's some folks that trip over everybody.
Insecurity.
Yeah. So
I honestly think it could be an older person.
You think so?
I think it could be something that old and young deal with, especially in this day and time. And with social media and all the apps and this, that, and the other, it could be something that anybody deals with. But I really think for all of the questions, most of them are really like situational of what that person is dealing with. So when you say, I asked them not to talk to a certain person, what's the history behind that person? So it's situational, that whatever that person is dealing with, it all really comes down to their particular situation.
Okay. Jonna, your face.
I don't know. At the same time, if you have to control somebody that tight, like in the words of Martin Lawrence, why you gotta sweat me so tight?
Mm-hmm.
That we need to look at that. If you feel in your heart that you have to set it up so that this person can't even talk to somebody, that's iffy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody with some baggage that was hurt in the previous relationship, or something happened, and you bringing that baggage into this one, because now you don't want this one to look at that person. You don't want this one to smile. You don't want. Sound like some baggage is coming in somewhere, and it's a lot of insecurity is going on.
Okay, so let me come here. Say that this questionnaire is by and I'm gonna go with the younger person, Tyrone, because
Okay.
I'm we're just off the cuff here. That person now, they're watching us, but they're already emotionally committed to this person in this relationship. Then, I mean, what am I doing from here? I can hear y'all saying, sounds like insecurity to me, but I'm all into this person now. And so, y'all, hey, what's my game plan? How do I manage this? And actually, run doesn't always work, because they ain't going nowhere. Y'all know, we know some of these girls, they ain't going nowhere. It can be some relationship scenarios, and dudes too. We got some brothers out there, and they can be in some really, really bad relationships, and they feel love for this person, and they feel a total commitment to and toward this person. And even though I can understand it's insecurity, possibly, how am I tell me something that can give me on Valentine's Day, because sometimes the holidays are the worst times to get some of the acting out that comes with that. How would y'all really address this individual who has this sense of feeling? Because I think just we got to say more than just a real simple answer. I don't think it's that easy, especially if they're already emotionally committed.
Well, my thing is, if they're that emotionally committed, it's going to be hard to tell them anything until they see it for themselves. I mean, it's one thing for us to say, it's, maybe something from your past, maybe you're dealing with some insecurities, this, that, and the other. But I know from experience and just seeing other people and just reading stories that a person who's wrapped up into someone, they're wrapped up into it. And if you're not strong enough in who you are, you're gonna take and accept whatever comes your way.
Okay.
So it's hard to look at someone and say, you're dealing with this is going on, and you need to take another route when that person is just that wrapped up in that person.
Okay. So there's really okay. Rhonda, Jonna, if that person by chance was listening to this broadcast tonight,
that person, like Jam said, that person really needs some counseling. Because if he knows that the partner really loves them and care for them, and they're not going to do that to them, then that they shouldn't be insecure like that. There's something causing that fear. Something's causing that reaction. So they need to dig deep and find out why are they feeling like that. Like I said,
Okay.
It could be some baggage or something, but the only way they can do that is to talk it out with somebody. And
Okay.
I'm an advocate for counseling. You got to talk it out. You can't. And they've been sweeping it on the rug forever and ever and ever, and now it's coming to a head. So they need to talk to somebody. If you can't speak to your spouse and y'all work it out to where without a shadow that I'm not cheating on you, I'm not going to mess up on you, I love you. And if that doesn't work, then you need counseling.
Okay.
Both of them need counseling.
Okay. Thank you, Jonna.
I would say the same to a young person. The first thing that you need for a good relationship is to know yourself. You have to know yourself before you tie yourself to somebody else, and that person needs to know themselves as well. You cannot start it with a whole bunch of hoopla. The images that we see on TV about relationship and marriage and such, it is TV. It is not real life. It is absolutely not real life. If you're going to have a relationship long term, you have to be open. You have to be able to change, and you have to know that, I have some issues. I have some ideas. I have some core beliefs that I really believe that maybe not be true. You have to be willing to change that. And you have to be willing to accept somebody else changing their behavior too.
Okay. I'm gonna throw this out, even in response to that, though. But with our younger people, that are so hungry for love in many instances, and dealing with lonely parts. So when I'm hungry for love and dealing with lonely parts, sometimes the cart can get put before the horse. I know you've heard that one, Tyrone.
Yes.
Okay. So sometimes the cart can be put before the horse, even though they don't mean to. It's like, if I'm not self-aware, and many are not, and come on, let's keep it real. Many of us were not self-aware. I mean, yeah,
absolutely.
we can be self-aware, but a lot of us were not self-aware now. Come on. It would have been a whole lot of pitfalls I'd have missed if I'd been self-aware. So at the end of the day, they're not necessarily self-aware. They got lonely parts and they're hungry for love. Then I think we have to, what is a way? Let's be creative. What is a way that we could help waylay some of these situations that people find themselves in? What can the community offer, particularly to young people that are looking for love and hungry for love and trying to figure it out? What are some ways we can, because they may not be getting it at home, y'all. So as a matter of fact, home may be the last place that they're getting anything from. So, we're talking about love, trying to have sustaining, real loving relationships, but we've already hit controlling issues because y'all know folks go through your cell phone, they go through your emails, they go through, we're talking about some real insecure stuff that people have to endure. How can we create something different? What are some suggestions? I mean, be creative. What can we come up with to help to not keep feeding this monster?
The first thing is take a cold shower.
And that doesn't always work.
Take a cold shower. Get your lonely parts together.
Okay.
You can't think when your lonely
true.
parts is talking louder than everything else.
That is a true word.
That is true.
And another thing is maybe we've got to teach them how to love themselves. People always think you need somebody else. No, you need to learn how to love yourself first.
Yes.
Take yourself out, give yourself a long hot bath, learn yourself, listen to some music. Girl, if you love yourself, then you're not gonna let anybody else mistreat you, because somebody's gonna have to love you the same way or better.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that didn't have a parent, so they didn't learn how to do this. They didn't see good relationship. But you know what? You have to learn how to do it on your own sometime. Or we can have groups, women groups, to teach them, men groups to teach them how to love yourself.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, then you can attract the right type of person. But if you don't love yourself and you're lonely, your parts are lonely, you're just going to be out there reaching and grabbing. So the first is start at home. Love yourself. Get your parts under control.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
But I think it's hard when we're talking about the young community, and believe it or not, I'm still part of it.
Yes. You are. I mean,
it does start at home, but I feel if there were, it's hard to say, love yourself, because there are people who love themselves. They were raised in loving environments where they love themselves, but it's almost like a part of just becoming a young adult, and you have lonely parts. That it's almost probably like it's like biological, that your body goes in a certain way. I think if there were more young people or young adults who are out there really mentoring our young adults, outside of just saying, love yourself at home, and it starts with the family. We as people biologically just go through these certain phases. So I think it would be really good to have young adults out there, especially in the school systems, just like mentoring our youth about their value. Because a lot of times, like I said, a lot of people, we grow up in great loving families and homes, and our parents were amazing. Even if it's a single parent home, our parents taught us to love ourselves, and our parents taught us to stand up for who we are. But once you're out there on your own, and especially going through like that high school phase and becoming a young adult, life changes. Temptation changes. Our bodies change. Our wants and our needs change. And it's good. It would be good to have people or programs out there to really help guide people in a slightly different direction. Just to give that support. Of becoming a young teen, a young adult. Because the parents can only do so much, but once we hit them streets, and I'm sure everybody on this call knows that, once we hit them streets, it's a different story. Now tell me there's a saint. Tell me there's a saint in the room.
Thank you. There's a saint in the room.
Hold on.
Yes, SK said old folks have lonely parts too. We have to decide what to prioritize. That's a true word.
It is a true
Like
word.
old preacher said when he married the young woman, it may be snow on my rooftop, but it's fire in my furnace.
I know that's right.
So listen, folks, yes, John, and he said it at church. That's what made it funnier.
Oh God.
Gigolos get lonely too. That's what the song said.
Oh shoot. I'm gonna throw this last question out here real quick and then we're out. Regarding relationships, this is this person's answer. I have just one rule: give me truth however cold or cruel, or however hard it is to hear. I would prefer to have my heart bled and broken if it means I can then move on than to waste one single moment of my time being fooled by a lie that's intended to preserve my feelings. Yay or nay? You
Mm.
want me to read that again? That was a link.
Depends on the situation, and I'm out.
Oh, let me read it one more time. Regarding relationships, I have just one rule. Give me truth, however cold or cruel it is or hard it is to hear. I would prefer to have my heart bled and broken if it means I can then move on than to waste one single moment of my time being fooled by a lie that's intended to preserve my feelings.
Hmm. I'm gonna have
I'm gonna say people say that
until somebody tells your ass the truth.
until somebody tell you the truth.
I don't know. I think
That's
I
a
would
tough
want
one.
the truth. That's a tough one.
Here we,
Okay, Rhonda.
Rhonda.
That's a mouthful
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds like that's just something really ugly happening, but they're trying to keep it from you to spare you. So that's ugly. I guess it depends on the situation because don't lie and don't steal are my number two things.
Okay.
So I don't like the lying part. So
But we need a situation on this.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Somebody needs to give us a
that's-
situation
that's too
on that.
ugly.
Because people are quick to say, be truthful with me, but as soon as you say, well, you put on a little weight, now you want to fight.
No, that's a true word.
As soon as you say, well, I don't like your hair, now you want to fight. I was truthful.
Yeah, but that one sounded like it was a lot more to it.
Yeah, there's a
Somebody
lot
make
going on there.
It's somebody you're bleeding hard. I mean, it's gonna kill you, and they talking about leaving behind it, but then they doing it because they don't want to hurt you. It's like, no,
Yeah.
something wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a situation to vote for that one.
I agree. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna close it out, and I appreciate you guys for being what do I want to say? You guys were good sports with me on this one because I know when I first said what I was gonna do, I saw all kind of looks coming up. But I want you to give what you feel would be the optimum of good advice, wisdom, counsel, experiential knowledge, wherever you want to draw from. It doesn't matter. And you don't have to say it. This is my personal experience, but I'm saying whatever place you want to draw from. What would be your optimum takeaway to encourage somebody to really walk and cultivate and develop real, long-lasting, true love? And I'll let whoever wants to start. To create real, long-lasting, true, healthy, and I want to put healthy in there. I don't want to miss that. Healthy love. What would you give as that golden or golden nuggets, a nugget or nuggets, plural, whatever the case may be, give folks to think about how I can help to have and spice, y'all, spice in love and spice in relationship, I think is beautiful. A matter of not honesty is the best policy. I got you, Mel. Something that we can take away because really, and let me say, as a single person and the only single person on here, I love being single, and I can say that genuinely. I don't get to Valentine's Day and have this big gaping hole in my heart like I ain't got nobody. I have none of that. None of that. But there are a lot of people who do. There are a lot of people that get to Valentine's Day and they absolutely hate it and dread it. So, I can say You can be single and happy and not feel any kind of pressure, and that would be me. But there are others that are really wanting to have a significant other in their world.
So I will say, relationships are not easy, and that's one thing to be mindful of. I think if anybody says in this world, and I can only speak for me, that you have the perfect relationship and we're just amazing together, they're lying to themselves. But what makes your relationship amazing is that you're able to take those moments where there's a struggle and grow from them. To me, there's nothing better than having someone in my corner that knows me wholeheartedly, has my back, supports me in any and everything that I do. We bump heads. We're probably two of the opposite people in the world, but those opposites bring us together. We learn from each other, and we grow together. That, to me, there's nothing better in this world, and just knowing that you have someone in your corner that's willing to grow with you. I feel to have a long lasting relationship is always being willing to fight for love. You're going to run into roadblocks. Life's going to happen. Things are going to happen. Life changes. But being willing and able to continue that fight, knowing for love, knowing that there was something that brought us together, and regardless of what comes our way, we're gonna continue to do that, and we're gonna continue to fight and just be amazing. I would say the biggest thing is communication, accepting each other for their downfalls, and just always having a plan to grow. Growth to me is everything. If you can grow together, and it can be the smallest thing, it could be raising a few dollars in your savings account, but we did this together. And to me, that's one of the most amazing things of having a long relationship with somebody. The biggest thing is growth.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyrone.
Go ahead, Rhonda.
Okay. I'll make mine short and sweet.
Oh, Lord.
Open communication is the key. Loving yourself and loving each other is the key. Being flexible is the key. Understanding that everything is not going to always be your way. We're learning to work together. I mean, you've got to be able to work together. You got to be able to talk it out. And one thing we don't ever talk about is do not go to bed mad.
Mm.
Do not go to bed mad. Talk about it. Do whatever y'all need to do, and then just come back together. Because it happens. Stuff happens. We're not going to always agree. Something's going to come up. That's what makes it good, because we're different. But there shouldn't be anything that you cannot discuss. There should be no topic that you cannot discuss with your spouse, your mate. So keeping the lines of communication open. You're not going to always agree, but we can agree to disagree. And then we can continue to go and move forward with that. But don't go to bed mad, and don't go to bed in separate beds. Because you get mad on the couch. Come on.
Speak, mother, speak.
Because I'm getting on the couch with you.
So
we're going to be real tight on that couch.
I love it.
I'm gonna have to come right in and say, listen, if it's late and you got stuff to do in the morning, go to bed. Mad. Get in that bed, turn your back, pull that cover up, and go to sleep. Okay?
But you can't be mad once he wraps his arm around you, though.
I can. Well, the scoochie is a problem. You right about that.
We gotta start from the beginning.
Oh, God. Anyway, earlier, Rhonda, you did say makeup sex was the best. If you go to bed mad,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
I said what I said, and I meant it. So I did. I meant it. I would agree with what you guys said. That communication is key. It is absolutely key, and I feel like if you're going to have a long-term relationship, you really have to learn each other's methods and understand that the other person's method may not be the same as yours, and you have to take their background and their childhood into consideration. That can be huge, huge in learning how to live with somebody and be in relationship with them. For example, Dwayne's an only child. I'm one of 12 or 13. It depends on who you ask. Anyway, and that, well, it's true. And that that dynamic for childhood is completely different. Completely different. And so, there's other things that make it, just the exact opposite. And he's had to learn that my perspective on a situation can be totally different. I mean, just completely different than what his are based on my core beliefs, or the things that I've seen as a kid, and even into adulthood. We've been married or together 21 years, I think now. And it was probably 10 or 11 years in before I simmered down from that childhood, because you're still acting out of what you're accustomed to. And you have to know what that is. So that's what getting back to know yourself before you get to skipping up and down these aisles, because it's not as easy as some people make it look. And like Tyrone said, they are lying through their teeth. It is hard work, and it is going to require the very core of you to get through it. Know yourself. Can you do it? Put your hot draws down. You are not going to die from not having sex. Sit your ass down and know yourself. Amen.
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 Ooh, you just preached a sermon. I want y'all to send your tithes and your offering to White Tabernacle.
Amen.
Ratchet.
Listen,
Yes.
I'm telling you. I'm gonna read this last one. You all have been great. I'm gonna read this last one, and I'm gonna close with this.
That was the last one.
No. This isn't a question. This isn't a question. I'm reading their statement. I see. I was trying to set up a nice little close, and you done.
Rhonda ready to go take her hot pants down. She says Valentine's.
Wait a minute.
Right?
Do your thing, Rhonda. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm not even gonna read the statement because y'all in a whole nother place. I had a nice little calm close that was real.
Come on.
Read your
Go
statement.
ahead.
No, this
Read
was
your statement.
oh my God, I'm just traumatized. I don't know if I can read it.
Come on with it.
My sign of my true soulmate wasn't someone that I just wanted to do the super cool stuff with, but my real soulmate was the person who made every ordinary day fun. While other people were making all these huge plans with their special someone, I forgot all of that. I found that my special someone could go to grocery shopping and still have a blast with them. And I have found that someone, and he makes me look forward to waking up on every Monday.
Oh.
Aww.
That's that.
That's nice. She must don't work.
That's a new relationship, but it's nice.
She must don't work.
Galactic Supervisor, peace for eternity.